Salutations, kindred spirits. I had to start early to answer David Miller's question as I sit here preparing to watch someone else watch YouTube videos on YouTube. Wonder if we're moving the right direction. You're going to hate it when some of these videos have YouTube videos within them. And then we're all going to exit the wormhole and be juggling on the other side. We're all going to be jugglers. What's up, David Miller? So yes, it is weird, but you know what it is today? Let me tell you what today is, more than just reacting to videos. And I couldn't be more excited to be doing this. And preparing the videos today, I was like a kid in a candy store. But I've been thinking about like telling y'all a little more of my origin story. Like, where does Doug Kahn come from? How did I evolve into who I am? And there's a few ways I could do this, but I thought a cool way might be to show you some clips of guys that inspired me when I was starting in magic and gave me some of the points of view that I have. And wow, let me just say hello, Tim and Randall, Dr. Bob. There's so many wonderful people here today. Chris, so good to see you. And Fast Eddie, what's up, buddy? DJ Crush, howdy. Nick, howdy doody. I almost became a professional juggler. I have a juggler clip we're going to look at today. So that's happening too. What's up, David? So yeah, it's not David. It's not about watching the videos. It's about Doug's origin story and some of the guys that inspired me as well. What's up, Robert? Supervillain. I missed the reference. So I was reflecting, I got to get some business out of the way. Right before the stream started, Randall was, hope there's some linking rings tonight. And there wasn't, but you know, I'm here to serve. And I just happened to have been poking around the Facebook and I found that Cosmo and Real Magic Magazine, put this in full screen. Starting in March, Real Magic Magazine is adding Cellini's, the handling is titled Lord and Master of the Rings. Let's watch a little bit of it, shall we? I'm thinking now of Richard Ross, who has a multiple ring routine. I know Jim only used 2 rings. Honestly, I'm not a fan of 2 rings. I think it leads the audience to the secret. I think they need to hold 2 linked rings, but if you're going to handle just 2, make it look like rings of smoke. And some of the handlings that this man developed are outstanding. So yeah, what's this? $7 a month to join Real Magic Magazine. It's $7 a month. Cosmo, I'm giving you a commercial thanks to Randall Harder. Randall, you should get a free month or something, you know, over there. So yeah, we're going to do that today. We're going to look at things like that video, but video that's inspired me. I got a Cellini clip we're going to look at, and the thing here, I'm thinking 3 to 5 minutes. We could spend 5 hours here looking at the totality of the shows and the clips that I, you know, I'm questioning my wardrobe right before right before I hit start. I spilled some water, and let me just do a dainty sip. I feel like I should more either be out busking or on the range instead of YouTube. I don't even know what this is or this. Let me say thanks to Fast Eddie for ponying up, even with the YouTube's, what do they take, 30%? They got to run this joint, so they get a piece. Hey, you know, I do what I can when I can. This thing's going off the rails. Let's get started, shall we, with the subject matter at hand. Where would Doug have been inspired, at least as in a video form that I could share with you, that I was thinking, what was my earliest memory of magic on television? I think I found it on YouTube. Let's take a look at Marshall Brodeen and his TV magic cards. This is from the 70s. The commercial says 71. I would have been 3 or 4 then. I'm thinking I saw this commercial when I was 5 or 6. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Marshall Brodeen, a professional magician. You know, most magic tricks are easy once you know the secret. Now take magic cards. You don't have to be a magician to perform all kinds of amazing card tricks because it works by itself. Have someone take a card, place it back on the deck. Tap the deck, it comes to the top. Put it back in the middle, and it's back on top again. Make 2 or 3 piles. Whatever pile they point to, the card is there. Now, for more fun, take the top card, tap it, and it changes to their card.
Was that exposure?
Bottom, and they all change to their card.
What?
Cut the deck, and they're all different again. 6 or 60, you can work TV Magic cards, the mechanical deck that works all by itself.
Okay, so here's a... We're going to have to do that with each clip. So here's a funny story. I ordered those magic cards, but not from that commercial. I ordered TV magic cards from the back of a comic book. I was a comic book collector. Now I just collect virtual playing cards in Marvel Snap. That's good enough for me these days. Oh, hold the phone. David Miller wants to know, where can we get these? Thank you, David. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Instead of buying them from the back of a comic book, let me finish my story. So I buy them from the back of a comic book. Here's what I bought from Marshall Brodeen. He sends me a stripper deck, not the Svengali deck that's in the TV commercials, but a stripper deck. It's a trick deck, but I'm trying to do what I saw on the TV commercial with his magic cards that are gimmicked, but I can't understand how they work. I throw them away. My first magic purchase was an utter failure. I should have quit right there and then. You're 8 years old. You order your magic from the comic book. Anyway, I sell quality merchandise at conjure.com. Here's the card shark combo. I mean, sure, you can just get a Svengali deck. They come with fine instructions from Daryl Martinez, and you can go to my website while I'm talking about it. And this will be the only commercial, I promise, before we get to the good stuff. This was unplanned, but you know what? This won't be a monetized episode, so with kind, let me go to the card section. With kind donations from people like Fast Eddie and people buying, maybe come over here, shop the card tricks, get a Svengali deck for $8. The combo's less than 40. It's 4 decks, 2 books, and you get the 2 card money. So it's 5 classic gimmicks, and that's where you buy it, is the answer to that question. And I promise you, that's the only commercial today. Thanks for asking, David. I run a fair joint over there. $25, get you free shipping. You get free swag. Here's the stickers someone spoke of. I've shown you them enough. We've got magicians to watch. Let's get to it, shall we? I don't even know how I got past the stripper deck. Actually, I do. After the stripper deck, I had a 3rd grade teacher. She was dropped into my multiverse, and she taught a few members of our elementary class how to do a magic trick. And it was a mentalism trick where I predicted the name of one of my fellow students. And so 8 or 9 years old, after the stripper deck, I got that experience. That's what hooked me. And, then I started watching magicians on TV. I was wondering who was one of the first ones, and it had to be this guy. It had to be this guy. And I don't think it was this show, but this is a good clip, and it's hard to find good clips from the 70s. So, hey, there he is, Doug Henning. He was really a groundbreaker for putting magic on the television back in the day. What you're about to see is some close-up magic, and this is one of the things that drew me to Doug, and note that he would do this live. So these would be live television specials broadcast nationwide, and he would get on there and do things like the Enchanted Cube. You're about to see Rubik's Cube magic from, I guess this would have been the early 80s. In the words of Doug Henning, my name's Doug, and welcome to my world of illusion.
Welcome to Central Park. This has always been a magical place, especially on Sundays, because throughout the park you can see lots of wonderful magicians performing their close-up illusions for the crowds. Now I'd like to show you 2 of my favorite small illusions. And I need 2 people from the audience to come up and help me. There's 2 little people right out. Can you come up here, please? Yeah, little girl, little guy. Hi there. There we go. What's your name? This is Edna. And what's your name? David. Will you come and sit right there, David? And Edna, you come and sit right
figuring out
down
the
there
tech that I
and
can
watch
do.
the amazing illusions. And I'd like to tell you that
He's
like all
portraying
my
a
magic I
street
do on
magician.
TV, there's absolutely no trick photography. Everything you see at home, the audience is seeing right here in the theater. Now, the first illusion I'd like to show you is an illusion with an ordinary, everyday object found, I'm sure, in every household throughout the world. This, as I'm sure you know, Edna and
Watch
David,
this. This is a
Rubik's
great
Cube.
handling.
As you can see, there are 9 little colored squares on each side, and the colored squares are completely mixed up. Also, the sides of the cube move every which direction like this, and as you can see, the colors just get more and more mixed up. That is, unless you're a genius or you spend hours and hours trying to solve the puzzle, and then you can get a solid color on each side. Personally, I have to solve the puzzle by magic. It's going to happen instantly and visibly. Watch. Now! Well, thank you.
I swear, I look just like that kid when I was his age, that little blonde. Look, Doug transitions from this and he does a chop cup routine. It's a bit lengthy. I did want to look at one more piece of magic from Doug. I'm thinking the illusion he performs at the end of this clip is the way to go. So let's look at a little more Doug Henning, but we'll go into an illusion.
Thank you. Now you're going to see something truly amazing.
Let me pause briefly and just note that, without Doug Henning doing that cube trick, it's likely nobody's doing Rubik's Cube magic today. I mean, someone might have got there, and it's not Doug's trick. We also credit Daryl for popularizing the production and commercialization of the enchanted cube. Murphy's Magic currently has the rights and is producing this wonderful version of the trick. I think it's still, worth your attention. In fact, there's been modern work on it recently. Enough blabbering. Let's watch Doug Henning this is a great illusion. Check this out.
During my career as a magician, I've made many things vanish. Beautiful women, tigers, once even a 7,000-pound elephant. But right now, I'm going to perform my greatest vanishing feat of all. In fact, it's called the vanishing feet, because I'm going to make my own 2 feet vanish.
It's listed as 81, I think.
I will make my right foot vanish. You're laughing. Next, I will bring my right foot back and make my left foot vanish.
I'm not a fan of illusions. I would love to own one of these. This trick is
Now, in the
great.
grand finale, I will make both feet vanish.
What is even happening? Well, there you go, folks. So it's easy to see why young me might have been inspired to be a magician. The clip I was looking for. All right, Chris, that's a demerit. We're going to put a check mark in the tardy slot, but fortunately, what you do is add those check marks up, and then in the Koopy Doll prize round, you could win like a stuffed animal. So save those points up. So you can see why I wanted to be a magician. The clip I was looking for was when Doug was on The Tonight Show, and he performed The Matrix. It's probably the first time I saw this trick. You've seen me do it with the coins where you wave your hands and they move around. He did it with seashells. And then at the end, a little turtle appeared. The turtle walked off. If you can find that clip on the list, on the YouTubes. Speaking of clips, all the clips I'm showing today, or at least most of them, I linked in the description below, so you can go down there later and watch the full clip or rewatch it. I went through and did the office work for y'all. Enjoy that reference later on. All right, speaking of the Tonight Show, let's take another clip, look at a clip from the early 80s. And what a joy it was to have this man on television back in the day, talking about Johnny Carson. He was a magician, practicing performing magician, and a supporter of magicians. He showcased some of the best magicians from the 80s, and man, he gave Lance Burton 12 minutes. It's rare that you get 12 minutes on the Tonight Show. And you could watch the whole act. Let's watch about 2 minutes of Lance. Let's go.
I watched this young man rehearse this afternoon. He's unique. Every year here in Los Angeles, the Variety Arts Club in downtown LA rounds up the best magicians from all over the world. And for their annual It's Magic show. It opens tonight, incidentally, and runs for 2 weeks. And this year they're introducing a young man that you'll meet in just a moment who has won all kind of awards. You like magic?
I love it, and I hear you rave about him. I did not watch the.
Lance would have just won FISM. He's coming off winning the award.
This is a first appearance on national television. Would you welcome, please, Lance Burton? Lance?
And he's like 8. No, maybe he's even 20. Lance Burton. Notice how he constantly looks at his audience. He doesn't look at his props. Just the fact that the match pulled. Oh, look at this. I thought this was even part of the act. Look at the flying candles, baby. But we'll watch a little more, huh? A minute. This is a good place to stop. I hope you've been inspired to go watch Lance Burton's full 12 minutes. He would come back to the Tonight Show and do more of this act later. There's lots of clips of Lance. He had his own show in Vegas for 15 years. He was the first magician to get $100 million contract. He took this 12-minute act and built an empire from it. He's touring now. He is on the road with his friends. Look up Lance Burton online, see what he's up to. Is anyone doing this now? I think Dove acts in general are probably on the way out. The most recent that I would say that's even close to it might be Dan Sperry. It's a total different ballpark, but in the neighborhood. I'm sure that there's people doing it. Can I recommend a current Dove worker? I don't know. If you like this kind of thing, I'd suggest looking up old Greg Freeman. That's good shit. This is another thing. Those doves. They fly to the, come on now. Okay. So you can imagine young Doug, who wants to be a magician, seeing this guy. you know. I used to practice magic to music and trying to be cool. Not my style. Took a while to figure that out, but when I gathered the family for magic shows in the living room, it was, you know, Magic Man by ABBA and Doug doing Tubes and Silks. About the same time I was watching Doug Henning, we're moving on. We're moving on from Doug and Lance. I saw this other guy come on the scene, and truth be told, does Alex Boyer do doves? Oh, Boyce. I thought you said Boyer. I was like, okay, there's your hot tip. Look for Alex Boyce. Man, if there was only video footage of those days, he's a magic man. That's the one by heart. There's a couple, I was everything you don't want a magician to be. But look, I was 10, trying hard. I had a book. I had one book, a couple magic kits, and a dream. All right. Then we saw this guy. Let's take a look at him. I call him the GOAT now. I didn't like him at first. Now it's, I don't know. Maybe let's just watch it. Let's not talk about him. Let's just watch him.
You're going to be seeing a lot of it, and for a long time up there in big bright lights.
He was right.
I refer to the fantastic, the formidable, the entirely flabbergasting.
The adjectives are real.
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
The Magic of David Copperfield. Starring David Copperfield. With Carl Valentine.
Carl Valentine's on this one.
Valerie Bertinelli.
Yummy. Valerie Bertinelli.
Sherman Hemsley.
Moving on up.
Bernadette Peters.
Baby.
Orson Welles.
That's crazy that Orson Welles is on this.
Cindy Williams.
There he is.
David Copperfield was born in Metuchen in New Jersey in 1956, and when asked about the birth, his magician parents said, "We were hoping for a bunny." This did not discourage little David, seen here making his first business deal. David is seen here at Magician's Camp with his first female assistant.
David's
Later
a
went
vet.
on to score a personal triumph.
All right.
As an end table in the
Maybe we
touring
don't
company
need the
of
full
Waiting for
David
Godot.
story. Let's get to the tricks. This is why I like David. He took forever. Not forever. It was this. It was too much singing and dancing and drama. Like I was used to my magicians doing the tricks and just the tricks. Dave starts putting in these theater stories. I thought it was weird.
David Copperfield continues to devote every waking hour to the constant improvement of his craft.
True story. Orson Welles was a magician. Is he a great one? I don't know. No doubt. That's one for the collection.
To my yellow scarf! Oh, look at this room. It's a mess. Your folks pay me good money to keep it clean, and you mess it up with your magic tricks. You should be studying your school books instead of all this magic.
This sounds like my stepmother.
How you can be wasting your time making things disappear. You ought to take all this junk and make it disappear for good. I'll never know why anyone would want to be a magician. Take that mouse away from me! Take it away! Oh, don't come any closer! You nasty boy, you hear me? Don't you dare!
Yummy. Is there more?
Now that's why I do magic.
Let's stop there. Seems like it's an appropriate place to stop. Oh man, I'm gonna stop there because I have more Dave. I have more Dave to look at because that was not inspiring for me. I watched it. There was things I liked about David Copperfield in the early days, but not as much. Like I would watch Doug Henning and just liked his style better. But that's fine because look, you can't be an artist for everyone. People are gonna like one thing, people are gonna like the other. People hate me. That's fine. I can't expect everyone to like what I do. It wouldn't be even a universe if it was that. So yeah, look, let's look at the next Dave clip. I'll tell you why. It kills two birds with one stone because one of my influences was Paul Harris. And Paul Harris developed a routine with playing cards. I'm gonna let David do it, but this routine was one of the first major purchases I made as a magician. I was 15 and I paid, what did I bought the little manuscript and it was like Stars of Magic, $10. And it was just paper. As a 15-year-old, the 80s, to spend $10 on paper and then to learn this trick. But this introduced me to Paul Harris, and he's one of my favorites. And as I put clips together today, I had to draw the line somewhere. I didn't put a clip of Paul in. If he'd had a TV special, I'd be showing him. But we're going to look at David Copperfield doing Paul Harris's Immaculate Connection. This is Paul's presentation. It's you can find it in Art of Astonishment if you have those books. And if you don't have Art of Astonishment, you're doing it wrong. It's a trilogy that's well worth your attention. And here's David doing this trick. What is it, 2 minutes, 2.5? We'll watch this. Let's do it.
How you doing? Not too bad. Do you play cards? Yes, I do. You do? I just happen to have a deck of cards right here.
Mine
Examine them
too.
closely for me. That's close enough. Thank you very much. I'm just kidding. Here, just take a good look at those cards. Make sure they're not unusual or nothing's funny about. You've all heard of marked cards. Yes? Yeah. That's where you can tell one card from the other by little markings on the back. So those cards aren't marked, are they? Nope. No, they look perfectly, and they are perfectly normal. But I'm going to show you the newest methods of marking cards. We'll be able to tell these three cards from the rest of the deck by the newest methods of marking cards.
This is a great presentation for this trick.
It's called the gambler's crimp. It's a method of putting a little tiny bend in the back of the cards. Here we go. The gambler's crimp. Almost impossible to see. And of course, you need special glasses to see this bend. Believe me, there's a bend in the card. The next method is called the invisible notch. It's a method of putting a little tiny notch in these cards. Here we go, the invisible notch. Almost impossible to see. Now, if you read Braille, you can feel the difference. These cards. Here we go. The final method is called the Las Vegas link. It's a method of marking two cards with one by invisibly linking it on the other two. It looks something like this.
It's nice to have an orchestra kick in for this segment.
You can unlink them by making a wish and blowing them.
So this is, I guess, the parts of Dave I liked when he would do. This is pure sleight of hand, and a little less dramatic and theatrical.
Or you can unlink them by ripping them, just like that. Or go back in time in 10 seconds. And have 1, 2, 3 restore cards.
Well, in essence, this becomes a torn and restored card routine. And while we love David Copperfield, well, we'll move on to something that's not controversial at all. The next magician is, so Immaculate Connection, David Copperfield. You were talking about books on the Discord, Nick. Get the Art of Astonishment trilogy. Yeah, Art of Astonishment. And Jimmy, I'll see you Saturday. What? We'll talk about it if you want. I tore up bags of cards learning this trick. I put my heart and soul into it. It was a worker for me. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I don't know. Maybe I got sick of ripping up cards. So, about the same time I'm seeing Dave on TV, I see, I see this guy. I'm going to have to go a little quicker. I saw this guy on another talk show. Oh, man.
Also, Stan Getz. That'll be tomorrow night. As you're about to see, my next guest does some very interesting things for a living. He is a comedian and also a magician who performs at a club he owns in Atlanta called the Tomfoolery. Please welcome Tom Mullica. Tom, come on out here.
Just a moment before we get started, let me say this. Tom Mullica is one of the greatest close-up performers to ever walk the earth. One of the greatest close-up performers to ever walk the earth. David mentions his bar and his show, the Tomfoolery. You can, there's footage of this whole show. Mayor Yidid, I think, offers this. I highly encourage anyone who's interested in seeing how great our art can be to go watch the full Tom Mullica show. Here he is on David Letterman. As I saw him, how old was I here? 15 or 16 watching this? This guy opened my eyes that night.
Let's get out here and see what you do. You're a magician, a comedian, and I guess you're going to show us a little of what people would see if they came to your club in Atlanta.
That's probably what we should do.
All right, go right ahead.
Would you like to open that pack of cigarettes?
An unopened package of American cigarettes.
To save time, we'll use this one.
One other thing before this clip goes on. David Letterman did not like magicians, and it was very, very rare that one appeared on his show. His show is very popular. It competed with The Tonight Show, and the younger hip crowd would watch David Letterman. And as a stand-up comedian, a lot of them didn't like magicians, and he was one of them. It's a rarity that he would host magicians. We're going to see more magicians on Letterman next, but this is a rarity, and once again, you're about to see why. I'll quit blabbering. Let's go, Tom.
Well, you can open
I can go ahead and open them up.
About this refrigerator guy, you should take it easy. The guy's suffering from anorexia ponderosa.
It's the kind of thing you'll enjoy at the Tomfoolery every night in Atlanta. Okay. Now, do you want these out of here, Tom?
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Would you like to hand me one?
I'll hand you just one. Is that what you'd like?
The whole act, yeah,
Right,
as
one
explained.
cigarette. It's a normal cigarette.
Good luck finding that book.
A cigarette you'd buy over the counter, any drugstore,
That's
tobacco
exactly
shop,
right.
magazine stand, a cigarette. There you go.
Thank you. You don't mind if I smoke, do you? Yeah. That's the end of the act.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
You mind if I inhale? Let's try another one, Mr. Letterman.
All right, there you go. There you go. Oh, my God.
Should we play this more in a different way?
No, do whatever you do, and
We're going old school.
good Lord.
I'm just a magician.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Oh, there goes an eyebrow. Hell, that's a disposable lighter. Okay. I've got dog hairs all over my jacket. My dog was on the couch the other night. I said, "Get down!" And he went.
This would be the patter portion
Yes,
of your
this
show.
is the part of
this
the
is
comedy.
Patter, yeah. All right. Okay, we have just. Oh my God. Oh my God. What do you need? The lighter?
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
Could you move away just a second?
Yes.
I don't want to burn you.
No, I appreciate that. There's 2 cigarettes.
What happened?
Then do you burn yourself doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, how many is that? Is that the 4th? You have 4 going now? You have 3 in there and 1. Good Lord. Gee.
You have to imagine this before the internet.
Seemed to be a little warm, sure.
The what?
No, that's all right. This, by the way, is the kind of guy you're going to see on almost any. Oh. Now,
You mind if I smoke?
How many do you have in there now?
I think I dropped one.
Yeah.
Oh no!
How many do you have in there? There's 4.
I'm in too much pain to count.
No, you have 5 there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this a big deal? Have you ever seen anybody do this many?
No, I've never seen anything like it at all.
Let's do it for the Letterman show.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
God.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
That-
Can we get you some Topol? Yeah, we have just about 1 minute here.
Well, that's it.
That's it. And what became of those things?
That's the magic.
Yeah, I know that, but where did they go?
You really want to know?
Well, I mean, do you still have them?
They go in here, they go round
That's
and
enough,
round
that's
and
enough. Tom
Oh,
Mullica,
oh,
ladies and gentlemen.
oh.
Gee, man.
Come on now.
Thank you very much. We'll be back here with Pete Townsend.
Tom Mullica. Wow. He's renowned for that routine. He's a master of many things. His ventriloquism act was his closing piece at the bar. His card routine is a thing of beauty. He has a wonderful set that's available on just impromptu magic. He released this back in the day. Go watch more of Tom Mullica if you can. Let's take another look at an act I saw on David Letterman. This is the same time span. We're in the mid 80s, 1985. What am I, 15 or 16? I'm seeing this on national television. You tune in for magic and you get that. Wow. And then you get this. Hey, David Letterman, what's on tonight? This is Penn and Teller's first appearance on David Letterman, June 26th, 1985.
All right. We're here with Penn and Teller. I mentioned that you get great reviews. Now, what is it that you do, and does everybody like it?
Right. Well, we got great reviews. I mean, New York Times and all those guys, they loved us. And then as soon as we did that, magicians kind of liked us. Then as soon as we got all these good reviews, the magicians just turned on us.
It was a backlash.
Yeah, it was awful. It was really not. I don't consider myself a magician, but Teller's got that background. I want to show you. Regular people don't see these. These are magic magazines. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got
Buddy Ebsen.
Buddy Ebsen on the.
I had that issue. I swear I had it. Oh man.
Cover with Eric Lewis. And this magazine, I was showing you this during the break, has and the Genie Speaks is the name of this article. And they call Penn and Teller the worst slap in the face ever given to magic. And they also say, how can they sleep at night? This is just because the big babies are all upset because we give away a few of their tricks. And here's a great one, though. A pair of nauseatingly nasty hypocrites. And they call Penn and Teller the worst slap in the face ever given to magic. And they also say, how can they sleep at night? This is just because the big babies are all upset because we give away a few of their tricks. And Here's a great one, though. A pair of nauseatingly nasty hypocrites.
Yeah.
At least the adverb is used properly there, which is always important to me.
Yeah.
But that's Richard's almanac. And Teller decided that this would be a
He's
great...
upset by this.
He's torn apart. I mean, we will never work the Magic Castle again. I mean, we just kissed that goodbye. I mean, Bill Larson wrote one of those things. So Teller's decided to get back to his roots. And so this is our big break, Dave. This means a lot of us. He's going to do a card trick for us.
All right, good. And I can help.
You can help. And
I look forward to this.
He's going to do it.
So again, I'm 16, 15 or 16. These are my influences. They were hated. I was young. I admired them. Still do.
What do I do?
Well, I would suggest you pick a card. This is the international symbol for pick a card.
Oh, this is it. No, I wouldn't. He wouldn't let me pick.
No, just pick a card and shut up. Okay? Yeah, thanks.
Well, this was sort of shoved on me. This was actually forced on me. The man more or less shoved it on me.
Well, no, he was trying to time it, and then you looked over at me, and he couldn't get
I have it here. I have it. Now what do I do?
We should show it to the. What do you got there?
I have that.
You forced an ace on him, right? You're on TV. That was a card for us, and I'm sorry about it. In the theater, you want to force an ace so the people in the back can see it. Sure. So you force an ace, even though it's not part of the trick. But when you're in TV, you shouldn't force
the ace.
No.
Well, I didn't know.
But it was very nice of you to speak up and say that, because a lot of people in our audiences, they don't give a damn about the responsibility.
They'll play along.
They'll just play along and nod. And this is the kind of honesty you can expect.
Thank you. I feel I've done something then tonight.
But actually, I'll take care of this and just have them. Why don't you just pick any card you want? Don't let me force a card, okay? Okay. Act as though this wasn't just picking a card, but this was actually like you would kill children if you picked the wrong one.
This one I feel like it
and
was,
now wait until
it's
completely turned around and show it to the monitor. You know how to do that? I think it's this camera.
Okay.
Just show it there. And then remember that card, and please, people at home, try desperately to care about that card for about 2 minutes or so, okay?
Okay.
Then when you all done to show it around? Okay, we didn't see it, honest, did we? Now you would say something.
Yeah, you didn't see it, no.
Okay, go ahead, put it back in the deck.
Okay.
Let's see how he's... Did you okay? Did that look okay to you?
Fine with me.
Okay, good. No, we'll just.
But did he have his thumb in there? Is that what happened?
I think he had his little finger in there. The card seems lost in the deck to you?
As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, good. I think just make sure that. Yeah,
there it is,
you
ladies and
put the
gentlemen.
card right on top. Now that's
the four of spades.
No,
So
that
you put it
wasn't-
right back on the top?
Yeah, all he did, take the card back.
Yeah.
All he did was he cut the cards like this. You put the card back in. He closed the deck up like
On
this,
his
and that
finger.
looks
Oh, I
fairly
see.
natural
Yeah, no,
to
I
you.
didn't see
but
that one. No, I
my
didn't see
stomach were to have a monitor that'd be able to shoot right in there and
I
see
see,
that.
that's how
Then you
that's
just
done.
cut it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you really want the card here lost in the deck, you want to cut it about halfway down.
Yeah.
Then give the cards a shuffle, and now that card's lost in the deck.
Okay,
right?
it's gone.
No,
It's
David,
buried.
use your head.
No, it's not
No
buried.
matter how nice I pretend to be to you and how mean I am to this man here,
Yeah.
my first allegiance in the world is over here. So
Sure.
he wants the card on top, it'll be on top. So the only way you can actually
You
lose
put
the
it back
card in
on
the deck
top.
is take the deck yourself and actually lose the card in the deck. Would you
Well,
do
where
that
is
for me,
it?
David?
No, I can't even find it.
No, I palmed it off, David.
Oh, there you go.
I want you to know that. No, David, see. Now this isn't even part of the routine. I'm just being malicious here. I just levered it off and handed it to you with the same hands. He's right in this hand.
Yeah.
Hand it to you. Now you were checking out this hands, okay? Only a goofball palms of that hand, okay? Now just take the card back, actually lose the deck, and we're gonna walk over here. This is where it gets good, David. It is built right. Lose it in the deck. Really lose it in there.
So we have something over here.
Well, we have something
Okay.
wonderful over here. Dave. Why don't you bring the cards?
I'll bring the cards, sure.
That's why we brought the cards out, you know?
If you haven't seen this, you're in for a treat. The finish of this routine is
And the major problem
fantastic.
with card tricks, and most of them are so wimpy, but we're going to fix that. Okay, go ahead. Just spread those out there. Now, see, this kind of nice because you see, Teller was so prissy over there. Now with the buck knife and everything, he's really
He's a little more,
butch.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
laying it all out there. Yeah, get a look at those when you pick them up, Teller. This will be fun. Now, Teller, what do? You just look at the backs of the cards and you're going to just stick the knife in? Seems like, yeah, he's good. We'll put a blindfold on. This is
blindfold on.
kind of all the trappings of a real magic
Yeah,
act. He gets
all
back
right.
and good in the races. Yeah. It almost seems to me, David, like he's peeking down there, doesn't it?
No, I think that's. I would go with that.
I'll just go like this. Let me just move these around so you remember any of them are. Kind of a existential. Just go. Just go. Tell me. You look like the elephant man. I'm not a man. I'm a magician. Okay, here we go. We got your card there, David. Is that your card? Was it the Six of Hearts?
No.
No.
I'll sit that at all.
And I know damn well it wasn't too. But you will remember your card. Is that your card, David? The Four of Spades. You know, I've always
That
felt
was
that.
true. All right, let me do this. We'll be back here for this commercial. Penn and Teller, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. What a magical experience for a young mind to have, especially one where you think everything should be secretive. I mean, that's what you're told by the clubs. You take the oath. Oddly enough, I've never been in any club. I've never taken an oath. Not one club. I was a Boy Scout. That's the only one, I think. Moving onward. What a great clip was that. You know, I took a deep breath earlier. I said this one's going to be a little late. I'm going to try and wrap this up in the next 15 minutes. We got about 5 clips to get through. That's not going to happen. Let's take a look very quickly at just a few minutes of Harry Anderson's Hello Sucker. It's another geek moment, and if anyone inspired me to do what I'm doing, it was Harry Anderson, who talked about doing street magic in New Orleans. I read his biography when I was 15, 16. It was a TV guide. I remember reading this, and yeah, I said, you can do that?
Let's talk geek. Let's not chant geek, let's talk geek. You all know what a geek is? I guess you do. A geek, when I talk geek here, I'm not talking about the pencil neck in school who never got dates. I mean, a geek is a guy who used to work in a circus sideshow. There's a poster of a wild man of Borneo there. Is he man or is he beast? Well, what he was a man dressed up as a beast. That's what a geek is. They would do strange stunts in a sideshow. They would bite the heads off living chickens, you know. They would take like a live rat or a snake. They would hold it by its tail and then they'd swallow it. And then they'd wait and then they'd bring it back out. And it would still be living, sort of, you know. Well, it wouldn't be fuzzy anymore, but or they would take like a 6-penny nail and pound it up one nostril with the heel of their shoe. Or they ate ground glass. They drank kerosene. You know, they were party kind of guys. You know?
So you know what I'm going to do here, because there's not a bad suggestion from Matthew to do a part 2 of this. But as I have mentioned, I have linked up all of these clips. That clip is from Hello Sucker. And if you haven't seen the whole Hello Sucker episode, are you even in my universe? That's your homework. Go watch the whole thing. We don't need to watch a short clip. Everyone needs to watch that whole episode. It's freaking amazing. I don't know that if I spend even 5 minutes on that, you'll appreciate it. And some of the clips aren't as good as quality as some of the other. That's a fact. He did die too young, this one. Man, I was just over at Warpo's house. He had his poster from Harry's one-man show on the state of affairs of New Orleans after Katrina. Hey, speaking of New Orleans and video footage of guys who influenced me, here's just a brief look at this one. Look at this guy. This is Cellini. Does it say when this was? 1985. So we're in the same ballpark. This is Jim Cellini in 1985. I wouldn't meet Jim until 87, but this is the best footage I could find of him. Enjoy the King of the Streets.
Watch it. Disappear. Then it comes back inside this little bag. If anything happens, watch the end. I'll do it just for you.
I have done about 500 shows in that spot.
See one of these?
Maybe more. It's Sunny Holiday in the crowd. Sunny Holiday.
Hey, you gotta pay attention to this magic part. There you can see it here.
Imagine walking through the French Quarter and seeing this guy.
Back up here. Yeah, I'll do it right hand. Watch. Mr. Shaw, see actually, it's a trick point.
I love that he's not amplified. So we're going to look very briefly at what Jim's act consisted of. Coin manipulation.
I'll say some people think it's here, but if I do that, back begin. See, I can take the darn thing across this way and watch it. Back over here.
Cigarette manipulation.
Oh, you're kidding. Hey, all magic, believe me when I tell you, it's just an illusion. Don't ever smoke cigarettes. I'll tell you, since I got a groupie here, how you doing? You mind taking your hands out of your pocket? I'll do the entertaining around here. That's about years old, because it is, I'll teach you how to do it when I'm through.
And this is interesting to me, and I'm not going to spend time on the cups and balls because I did want to look at a little bit more cups and balls today, but it goes from the cups.
Two, hey, very good. Well, supposing you had said three, then it'd be three. I'll tell you, I can't do it any better than this. Look, all three.
He goes from the cups and balls into rope magic as a closer.
That guy hasn't taken his eyes off me. So you tell me, under which cup would you like the balls to appear?
Yeah, you tell me that doesn't look like a magician.
Cup number three. The more you play with them, the bigger they get. Now, you know, I love watching magicians.
So yeah, he goes on to do, he does cut and restored rope, and then the finale.
Exactly what he said. He said you take the rope like this.
The finale of Jim's routine was actually Slidini's
Just like that.
handling. So he closed the act here with Slidini's handling of the Professor's Nightmare.
On the count of three, ladies and gentlemen, I shall restore these ropes back to their original condition of one solid beam. All I have to do is tuck the ends inside my hand.
So yeah, this is Cellini, one of the great influences in my life. I'd be honored to call this man a friend in my lifetime. And how cool is that for me to meet him at his convention he held at his bar in Raleigh, North Carolina. As I said, that was in '87. He would live with me for a couple months in early 2000, which we opened this show with Jim Cellini, the footage that Cosmo has. That's lineage from my time. Hey, Jeff, thank you for supporting this stream. It is the only way it gets supported today. Obviously, this is not a monetized effort, and I'm feeling that vibe. I think we just might need to go to part two. Who did I have left here? I really don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at two more guys, and we're going to wrap up, okay? I got, actually, let's make that three very quick. 10 minutes, and we're done. So we're not going to look at Michael Davis. He's just been cut. Here's the thing. Part two is the next phase. I got, you know, this is the elementary high school years. What about the next phase? So there's a part two. Let's move on. We're cutting Michael Davis. I wanted to talk about the time that I saw this guy in the comedy club. He looked like this, and we're going to look at it for just a second.
Mack King! Mack King!
Howdy. Oh, I'm Mack King.
In the 80s, in the late 80s, I went to a comedy club with Tom Frank, and I got to see Mack King in all of his glory, killing it in a comedy club in an intimate space. Mack King is currently working the Excalibur Hotel in Vegas. We're going to look at one quick trick from Mack.
He does a little trick. It's not magic, but it is pretty good for a guinea pig. I'll get out his little hut. This is where he stays in between shows. We don't call it a cage.
This seems to be Mack on stage
on top of his hut
at the
for his trick. You ready,
Excalibur.
Colonel? You don't get to go inside yet. You got to do your trick. Stay. Good boy. That's his trick.
Racherbaumer's next. I actually have a Racherbaumer clip.
Oh, because he is.
What? Okay, now the CW hates me for sharing that clip. Mack King, greatest stand-up comedy magician of my lifetime. To see him perform his act, and what was I, 18 years old then? To see a master performer. Note that Mack was a very good friend of Lance Burton. They were both developing their acts together and both just crushing it. And yeah, let me tell you, Nick, Mack King, in my opinion, one of the greatest performers alive, and certainly for stand-up sleight of hand magic, not needing boxes and so on. And yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Thanks. What's up, Joseph? Good to see you here. All right, let's look at Racherbaumer. Rabbi Yitz asked about John Racherbaumer. And I met this man in the late 80s. This would have been 1989. This man came into my life and became one of the most important mentors I've had. And not just magic and card magic in particular, but the ways of life and just how to be a gentleman. And also, you know, he's a father. He's got children and so on. So, you know, we met every day for many weeks. John Racherbaumer. This routine, the Olram Aces, he credits his what's the word here? Not an opus, but he dedicates this routine to Ed Marlowe. Olram. It's his handling for the McDonald's Aces. Check this out. Hardcore card magic for your entertainment pleasure.
Hello, my name is John Racherbaumer.
Let's go, John.
I'm going to show you the world's oldest card trick. Scott's Discovery of Witchcraft, 1580. Called the Flight of the Knave. In this case, we're going to use the aces. Now, sometimes people ask me, why the aces? I said, that's the magician's fetish card. Because look, if you use the court cards, much more.
I'm Mr. Jim. This is my
great.
Chicken Premier Pizza. It's
Nope.
loaded with
We gotta get the
mozzarella and
ads
cheddar
in, y'all.
cheese,
Sorry
grilled
about that.
feet, a chicken breast, onion, green bell pepper, and our own unique white sauce. Use our new ordering system to get 30% off.
Double
Beautiful card, like a stained glass window, queen, whatever. But there was a reason we used the aces, because when we worked from the stage, you could see the center pip of those aces from a distance. You would always know those are the aces. I'm going to lay the aces down in the standard T formation, and we'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You may have seen this trick before. You haven't seen
Three
it
for
done
each
at the level you're about to.
of the aces. And these three cards serve to cover the aces. Back in the 16th century, they did not show the faces of these cover cards, but for you guys, I'm going to show you each and one. 3 here
Brother
for the
Steve,
leader
thank
ace
you
of
so much.
spades. We put 1, 2, 3
That's the
here
coolest.
for the ace of clubs. 1, 2, 3 here. And of course, the last 3 go here too. Stage is set. Now, even in the 16th century, they knew not to tell the audience what they were going to do before they did it. Going to violate that cardinal rule and make the preposterous claim that those aces there are going to come over here one at a time invisibly. Ace number 1.
If you ever get the pleasure of
ace
hanging
of
out with this man, I highly
diamonds.
recommend it.
Look, just a squeeze, and the ace disappears. Really, ace is gone completely. And the diamond is over in the leader packet.
It's worth noting the title
Second ace,
Olram
we
Aces
can vary the procedure just a little bit.
does harken to the
Ace of
fact John
hearts.
uses quite a few
This
Ed
time I'll
Marlowe
take the ace of
techniques
hearts
in
and we'll
this
place
routine.
it face up or reversed in the packet. Clearly you can see it, same gesture.
But
Look,
this is Elmsley.
visibly, you see it change. No ace, no ace, no ace. Sometimes they think it's hiding underneath here.
It's
No,
the last few
no
moments
ace.
here that we really
Ace of
turn
hearts
up the
is
high gear.
Here. Those were actually transpositions. So what we might try here is a transition. We have 1 ace to go, ace of clubs. We also have the 8 of diamonds, 9 of spades, 7 of spades. Watch the ace of clubs. You see it? Look. Only 3.
Gone.
And over here you have club, heart, diamond, and spade.
What?
Thank you very much.
I literally just got fooled. I thought I knew how that
First
trick
time you
worked.
take a
Wow. Okay, then I'll be watching that clip again later. And yes, there is an Olram count young Matthew Mosley. So, yeah, that's John Racherbaumer. He's written about 500,000 books on magic. I've told you to go to library.com to study his works. And if you want to watch that clip again to appreciate the finesses that is in this routine, do that. I was happy to see John publish the routine again in the last SAM. If you were at the convention, that routine is published. And hopefully one day I'll be sharing maybe that with some future students elsewhere. So yeah, good times. Let's just talk about the last clip. I'm hoping everyone has seen Ricky J. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's McDonald's Aces routine. And truthfully, Ricky J, I had seen in the 80s. The brief minute or two we'll watch of him is from the best magic show I've ever seen. It's Ricky J and his 52 assistants. I can't imagine that y'all haven't seen this guy already, but I have to be sure that we're watching it.
Many of you know that I throw playing cards further than anyone in the world. Thank you very much. I'd like to demonstrate my unusual skill for you this evening, but unfortunately this theater is much too small. Consequently, all I can really do is speak about the advantages of cards over more conventional weaponry. First, they're inexpensive. Secondly, if you're good with them, you can make a small fortune before the actual attack. Third, there have been no convictions for carrying cards as a concealed weapon. If you are, for instance, attacked by a door, you could kill the door, but I know what you're saying. You're saying, sure, this man throws cards with incredible speed and uncanny accuracy, but can he throw a card and have that card returned to his hand, a simulacrum of the Australian boomerang?
Nice.
But I know what you're saying. You're saying, sure, this man can throw cards and have them returned to his hand, a simulacrum of the Australian boomerang.
This is a good recommendation.
Return, cut it neatly in half.
Deceptive
with a pair
practices.
Of giant scissors. Yes, he can. Does anyone here have a pair of giant
I'll
scissors?
be around.
I do. And I might add, I feel so much better now. So here's how this works. I throw it out, the card comes back, I cut it. I should point out, if you're attacked by a pair of giant scissors, you may throw the card at the scissors, disabling the scissors completely. But for those of you who prefer skill to verbiage, apparently all of you, I will throw the card in the air and upon its return,
Continued thanks, kindred
with a
spirit.
pair of giant
Literally, the only
scissors.
way I make money on YouTube is
Neatly
this.
in half. Okay.
I don't know. People think I make money on YouTube, but it's the membership. So if you guys are supporting the membership, that's what
Quad
supports my
erat
efforts. Thank you.
demonstrandum. I will, however, go sans scabbard for the remainder of the show.
Sans scabbard.
Or as the Elizabethans say, go bear.
Go bear. You know, Ricky J and his 52 assistants. I said it already. It's the greatest magic show I've ever seen. It was on HBO. I was really looking for some other clips. I had a few things that we could have watched today beyond that. Man, we made it to an hour. I took a deep breath. I knew this one was going to go a little long. We did it. And there will be a volume 2 and a volume 3. And I could probably do 6 volumes of magicians that have influenced my brain to be where it's at today. But I hope this little time we spent today gives you a little more insight into what has made me who I am, what has led me to have things like silicone ears on my, I could have tidied up before the show. These are all fine products I sell at conjure.com, even these coins, and I sell these cards, and I sell these wands. So since we didn't monetize it today, you guys could go buy some of this. I got another commercial in conjure.com. It's that's where I sell things. That's another way I make money. All right, y'all, it's been a pleasure, and I'm going to wrap this up. I think we've all watched enough magic for the next hour. Let me tell you about next week real quickly. It's Mardi Gras season in New Orleans, right? So I'm going to be marching with the Crew of Fools. Do I have the page up here? One last thing to mention. The Crew of Fools, which is a gathering of street performers. We're celebrating The Loud Mime, Will Flederman. And in my opinion, this young man is one of the best street performers to ever roost in this city. And at noon on Lundy Girl on the French Quarter, we'll be marching through. If you're in the neighborhood, hey, come say hi to me and celebrate the arts with kindred spirits. And I'll be out there then. And because of that, I won't be hanging out with this young man, Josh Norbito, making excuses. That's next Monday. I'll be in the French Quarter celebrating the Cruel Fools. I intend to be quite revelrish and incapacitated by the end of it. But y'all go hang out with Josh Monday night on the Magic Guys. And yeah, good to see you, brother. We had good fun this hour. I went through my past and looked at clips. So, well, look, man, I told you where to be on the 12th. Be there and meet some cool folks. We have a good time. All right. Josh, you're super late, and I'm out of here. Thanks again for the hang, y'all. I'll see you next week. I'll have some Mardi Gras footage. Maybe. I hope I'll be here next week. We'll have some Mardi Gras footage. Thank you, Eddie. Good to see you as well. Au revoir. I'm out, Steve. See you guys next week. Stop the stream.